Hi ladies, it's Sadie here again, and I am just going to say congratulations to you if you're watching this video, because that means that you are Countess and above. That to me is so exciting. I remember when I first hit Countess, it was probably the most exciting rank to me because I feel like so many things change, and that is when I feel like my business really started to blossom. And I feel like that's when everything started to explode and grow so much faster, and things became real, and things in the company really just started making sense to me. And I had been around long enough that I knew all the information and I knew the rules, and at this point you should probably have a fairly large organization below you, and things are just getting so exciting. And so this is something that I'm really excited to talk about. It will be a fairly quick video, and mainly just to say congratulations to you in working so hard to build an organization that is now 3 levels deep. That to me is huge. That means that you have shown a lot of dedication to your team. You've shown a lot of support because people are starting to build down. So congratulations to you. I'm so proud of you guys. A couple things do change for you when you do become Countess. So that's what I'm going to kind of go over with you guys. The first thing that's going to happen is you will have to sign what is called manageance. It is a contract that you do sign with the company. Now, my first thing I'm going to tell you is once you hit Countess, I would probably either call the company or email A. Currie, Currie, at Senegence.com. That is Ashton Curry's email. She is the one over recognition and ranks. Or you can just call the company, call home office, and let them know that you've ranked to Countess or above. And they get a little bit behind because there's so many people ranking every day that you may need to just give them a little reminder that you have ranked. And what they'll do is they will email you the management's contract. You need to just open it up into your computer to where it's editable, and you'll fill it out on your computer, and then you can just email it back to Ashton. And once that changes, the management's contract, first of all, is a contract that essentially goes over all the information with the company. They want to make sure that you understand the business and that you understand all the policies and procedures. You understand what it takes to be a leader in the company. You're saying that you'll hold trainings, which we're going to go over, that you'll be a leader in this business. It also states that you cannot be signed up with any other MLM company. So if at this point you are signed up with any other company, you would need to break contract with that other company to move forward with your Senegence business. So make sure that when you get that management's contract, we're not just putting it aside. We need to make sure that as leaders, we are reading through that. I printed out and read through that thing word for word, because as a leader, I feel like it was my responsibility to understand, first of all, what I'm signing, and second of all, what my new responsibilities are as a Countess and above, because your responsibilities do change kind of significantly, because at this point you're a leader, a big leader. So make sure when you get that you're not just filling it out and signing it, that you are actually taking the time to print it out, read it, keep it for future reference. Now, once you get that filled out and signed it and you turn it back in, a couple things will change in your back office. When you first go into your dashboard and you're looking at your team, when it's showing like the top 5 people with, PV orders, it in the beginning is only showing your first line girls. What starts to change with managements is it will now show everyone in your organization. So even if someone on your 5th line has the highest PV for the month, it will show her in your top 5 now. So you can start to track and congratulate girls that are further down on your line for being very successful. So I thought that was really exciting. I do know that a couple of things are changing with the back office every day, so I don't know as things grow and develop if anything else will change once you sign managements. For right now, I do know that is something that changes that I think is very exciting. So that's the first thing, reaching out to the company, making sure you sign managements, make sure you read it and know what's happening. Now, the next thing you want to make sure you're doing is you need to make sure that at this point you're being a very good leader, which means that you are taking responsibility for your team, you're supporting them, you are knowing where they're at, you're watching their progress. And so one of the things that I use is my downline manager. Which I've already kind of gone over this in multiple of my other videos, so I'm not going to get heavily into this, but once you start getting to about Duchess or Princess, your team will probably be too big to be using this. But at Countess, you're still probably to the point where you can still be utilizing this. What this is so good for is as I'm building my first line, which is my army of people that are building my downline, I'm tracking who all of them are. So if I do something on my team page that's some type of training or an important post, I can look and see everyone that I need to tag at a glance, and go ahead, can you hold this for me? And go ahead and tag everybody and make sure that they're seeing that important information. This is also helping you that if you see that someone in your first line is kind of starting to drop a little bit, you can go to them and reach out to them, or you even have tracked all the way down to your 5th line. And so you kind of have all of your team at your fingertips. And this is so important to know, like, as you're watching people rank, as you're watching people that may need help, I would really track your team as long as you can. I do know from experience you will get to a point where this is no longer feasible. It gets too big. But while you can, be using it to your benefit. You also, as a Countess, really need to start learning your dashboard. You need to go through every one of those tabs on the left-hand side, learn what they're for. I do have a video on my YouTube channel that is called Learning Your Dashboard. Watch that, get on there yourself, learn it, learn the different ways that you can track your team. Use your rank summary to watch your own rank growth, but also to watch your downlines, see who's getting close to ranking, write them, recognize them, support them, let them know they're only 1 away from maiden or 1 away from Duchess. Keep track of those things. Also keep track of your fast starts and make sure that you're being a good team leader and updating your first line girls when they're close to their fast starts and teaching them to do the same thing. You're also congratulating your team, the people that are in your top 5. You're watching your graph, and if things are starting to explode and get bigger, you're announcing that, and you're kind of celebrating those victories with your team. There's a lot of different things you should be doing with that dashboard. I get on it multiple times a day, and you just need to make sure that you know how to use that as a leader, because from this point on, that dashboard is going to be your best friend. So please make sure you're learning that. Also, please make sure you know how to use the back office. Now, you as a leader need to know that back office like the back of your hand, so that if your team starts to come to you with issues, you know exactly where to direct them, you know how to train them, you know where to send them. So please, as a leader, we can't just grow and sit back and hope that our team's going to figure out what they need to do. At this point, you need to take the responsibility and step up and be the leader and understand how everything works and where to send them. That's what's going to help your team grow. So make sure you're learning that as well. Another thing that you really need to start doing once you're Countess and above is holding local team trainings. At this point, you should have a team that is fairly large enough in your own local area that you can meet once a week, twice a month, once a month. It's whatever works best for you and your team, but you need to make sure that you're getting with your team members and you're developing their knowledge. You're helping them learn the company. You're teaching them about all the programs, how to use the back office, the dashboard. You're teaching them how to recruit and build a team and talk with potential distributors. That's all going to grow and work so much better if you're doing it in person in a training. I can tell you from experience that when me and Chelsea Nelson first signed up, Tanya Alexander would have trainings at her house every week, and me and Chelsea would go there. And sometimes it was just the 3 of us, and we would sit down and we would goal set, we would go over the manuals, we would learn all the information, and I can tell you 100% I know that is why the 3 of us are where we are, because we would sit down together, talk about it, learn together. And if you can do that with your downlines, I promise you, you and them will be stronger for it. Now, don't just invite your first line. If you have other girls in your downline that are in your area, make sure that they feel welcome. You're announcing where it is, when it is, and everyone feels welcome to come. That is going to help build your downline so fast. Now, as you also start to get bigger, you will start to find that you're going to start developing power pockets in other areas. As some of you have noticed, a lot of, me, Chelsea, and Tawny go up north a lot. A lot of our team members are in northern Utah, so we realized that and said, okay, we need to start doing power pocket trainings up there, even though that is not where we are from. We travel 5 hours to go and do trainings for the girls up there because they're growing so significantly that they need to be trained. Now we're starting to look at Nevada and Idaho. So as your team starts to grow, pay attention to those power pockets. And if you're keeping track with a downline manager, you're keeping track of where they're all from, and you can start to pay attention to where those power pockets are growing. And if you have a team leader in that area that you feel is starting to get big enough to where she can start taking over those trainings in that power pocket area, then that's great, and she can start taking that over for you. But that is so important that we're doing team trainings. Now, for the girls that are not in your area, make sure we're doing live trainings on our groups. Make sure that you can either be doing Zoom calls, you know, the group conference calls. Make sure that you're staying in contact via text messaging or messenger on Facebook. You need to just make sure you have an open line of communication with you and your team at all times, because at this point, they're looking at you as their leader. Another thing that you can be doing, and this is not something that is required by the company. It is just a suggestion, and if you cannot do it, that is perfectly fine. It's something that I have done that I feel like has motivated the girls to work harder, and I feel like it's worked to my benefit and to the team's benefit, but it is not something that is required. But once I hit either Countess or Duchess, I started doing rank gifts. And in the beginning, the girls were ranking slow enough that I was starting to send them out at Maiden. So anybody that reached Maiden, I had bought little crown bracelets, as many of you have probably received, and I would send those to those girls that were ranking. Now, as my team grew, I was like, I need to start sending other gifts to girls that get a little higher. So I decided to start sending gifts at Countess. And then me and my uplines also do a gift for Princess. We all go in together and we get a really nice gift for our princesses. You can do that if you would like. I would suggest, if you're going to do this, to not spend too much money on the gifts. It will get a little expensive if you do. So find something that is, minimal cost, that is, something that they'll get excited for, that you can send to them. Now, as my team has grown and people have been ranking faster, I have changed the requirements, and my girls now have to reach Royal to get their bracelets, Countess to receive the crown keychain, and then at Princess they get a special gift, like I said, from me and their other uplines. Now, that again is not something that is required. I do feel like, though, that it has motivated my girls to work harder to rank. And so to me, that has benefited me, it's benefited them, and it's benefited the whole entire organization. If you're going to be doing that, make sure that you're keeping track, because that is something you can lose track of very easily. Sorry, not carefully. So keep track of the people you're sending, the Maiden or Royal gifts to. Keep track of the girls that you're sending the Countess gifts to, and then your Princess gifts to, so that you're not over sending people's gifts. So anyways, that is something that you can do that is not required, not at all. And if you cannot do it, please do not feel bad. It's just something that I have found that has worked for me, that I wanted to share with you guys. But the biggest thing is, at this point, as Countess, you are a leader. So you need to make sure to step up that game. You're reading everything you can. You're learning the business so that you can train. You're teaching your downline to do the same. Now, Countess is also really heavily recognized at seminar, because you're getting recognized as a leader. So as leaders, we need to make sure that we are attending all corporate events. At Countess, that means that you are now eligible to attend every single corporate event, and you should be. If you have a team that is big enough to be at the Countess level, you should be responsible for going to those team trainings, because you are the one that needs to be taking it back to your team. Some of your team members will not be able to go. They may not be the rank that is required, but you need to be able to get that information and take it back to them. Now, a really cool thing that you can work towards is, once you become Crown Princess, you no longer have to pay to register for these trainings. So that is a really, really cool thing. At that point, you're saving $250 to $300, and you are saving money. So you're only paying for your flight and hotel, which, if you're sharing with people, is not that big of a deal. So that is a big thing. If you don't know about the corporate events, make sure that you are looking in the back office under corporate events, which is a top tab, and you're learning when they are, where they are, what they entail, and you're also teaching your downline. That is huge, and I would please ask that if you are Countess and above, that you are attending those trainings. Now, the last thing is once you achieve the rank of Duchess, if you can do that in a seminar year before December 31st, you will be asked to go onto the Crown Princess Retreat, which is a free trip that's given to you by Joni, and you all meet from Duchess up and kind of plan the next seminar year. You plan trainings. They teach you how to be a team leader, because at this point, again, you should have a fairly large team below you. They kind of prepare you to be a Crown Princess, because again, at that stage, your responsibilities significantly change again. So make sure that we're working towards, at this point you're a countess, you're only one step away from being duchess and receiving that crown princess retreat, which is a huge honor. And again, it is paid for by Joni, and they kind of change the location every year. Last year they went on a cruise, this year we're going to LA, so it does change. So there are a couple of things that you need to work on now as a countess, some things you may need to research, some things you may need to learn. You now have some new goals that you have set in place to reach higher ranks. I am just so excited for you guys, and if you ever have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. At this point, I can see you're blossoming and you're becoming a leader, and I will do whatever it takes to help keep you on this upward momentum. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day, and good luck on your journey. I'm so proud of you.